Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your May 2024 reading. It's me here, Krystal Clear, happy to deliver this month's message for you from Spirit. I'm going to start by pulling two cards for the overall energy, one card coming into the month of May, one card coming out. Happy birthday to all the May Taurus. So for the month of May coming into it, we've got the farther gate, bold step forward. This is your month, Taurus, to take lead of your situation. Maybe you have questioned your authority. Maybe you've questioned your role. Maybe you've even questioned where you're at and you've felt a bit restricted. But the gates are open, okay? April was a very closed gate month. But for you, for Taurus, it's opening up in May. Not only, do we have the sun in Taurus for a lot of the month. We have some beautiful transits and conjunctions happening that support Taurus. So I do feel like May is going to be a month where you show up for yourself and you show that you're happy as you show up and glow up for you. You don't need external validations or anything like that. You are ready for this step forward. You're ready to be bold and you're not needing to be apologetic and you're unafraid to go after what it is that you're looking for. Leaving the month. Let's see what we've got. Some sacred contracts, some covenants. Yeah, when we talked about stepping into your authority, this feels like a divine authority. Like you're stepping into the next phase for Taurus. Maybe you have been focused on the physical responsibilities, or maybe those are the harder responsibilities that you might have. And it's been challenging to, kind of find your place. With the sacred contract and the covenant, your place that you're starting to find is more on that spiritual level. I do feel like the month of May, you're finding a more spiritual path and not needing to follow the same paths as some other people do, but you're finding your voice and like what is written in your soul blueprint. And you're stepping out into that. You're showing up as, hey, this is who I am. And I do feel like it's a big part of like your representation of self, and how you communicate about yourself or how you show up as yourself or how you, just how you see yourself and how you show up to others and how you express that. So there's just a real it's a confidence boost, honestly, Taurus. It's coming out of a shaky time where maybe you've been uncertain before, felt a little overwhelmed, but really stepping into your divine blueprint. So let's pull 4 cards, one for each week in the month of May. Starting off the first week, we've got the 3 of Swords, the King of Wands the second week. We've got the Fool, the 3rd week of May. Oh, and okay. Oh, Taurus, Spirit didn't want me to give up with just 3. So 3 more came in for this last week of May. Seems there's a lot going on this last week of May. With the Queen of Wands reversed, the 8 of Swords upright, and a 7 of Swords reversed. Taurus, I want to jump right to the end, but we're gonna go in suit. So starting off the farther gate, taking the bold step forward. It can be challenging, like that new identity of self, which I do see comes in towards the second week of the month. It's taking off those restrictions that the gate was closed, right? Previously, the gates may have been closed and we've been maybe wanting to do things the way that we thought we should rather than what feels more genuine and authentic to Taurus. That is what is released. That's what's being let go of this first week of May with the 3 of Swords. It's all about releasing any of the old heartaches, the old heartbreaks, or where you've broken your own heart, really. Because I do feel that this is a lot of self energy focus and that there's an emotional healing. And honestly, I'm going to jump to the last 3 because it's like the lies you have been telling yourself. You learn have these perceptions in your mind of how you think love is supposed to look, how you think your role is supposed to look, how you think your work is supposed to look, how your identity is supposed to look, right? All of these things these pressures that you were putting on yourself, these really came from an emotional place rather than a place of logic. And there was some energy that was needing movement to clear it out. I feel like a lot of that happened in April. And that's why in May, it's like there's just this new path forward. And these old stories, ways of doing things, ways of seeing things, just because other people did them that way, or just because other people had this opinion of how it needs to be done, you allowed yourself to see that as maybe a detriment to your character, but it's not. And you're starting to learn your own truth. Okay, so that brings us to weeks 2 and 3. And that's really where the magic happens, is in the middle of this month with the King of Wands coming into that place of confidence, of charisma. That bold step forward definitely comes from the King of Wands. The King of Wands is someone who can take their emotional side as well as their physical responsibilities and find their divine masculine through it. The divine masculine energy is all about the energy that we put out there. And it's important to just be mindful of how you express yourself and the practices that you take as a form of expression. That's really going to take focus. And the King of Wands is giving you that support to really be authentic and confident and move forward with that fire. And so then we've got the Fool to redo some things, to start fresh in other ways. There are some areas where you have learned to grow, and stepping out into that new role, into that new responsibility, into that new relationship, or into that new perspective of what relationships look like, or that new perspective of what your role is in your job. This is general, so it's going to hit any of the major life theme areas. That third week is when you really step into the newness of it. And this is really going to be interesting because it does open up new possibilities, where when you're starting to see yourself different, maybe your work shifts, or your home focus shifts, or your relationships start to shift. And all of that begins to reveal itself here in the month of May. And so finally, the last week with those 3 cards, the Queen of Pentacles reverse and the 7 of Swords reverse, it's like how you were using your energy and your thoughts was what was causing most of the restrictions. And as you release those here in the month of May, and you realize that the best thing that you can do is just be your best, and to be confident in what it is and not have to defend yourself, and simply speak the truth of who you are, no apologies, and just being more lighthearted with yourself and your body and who you are, that really allows for you to take that bold step forward and live in better alignment. And you'll realize that only you are the one holding you back. So let's pull 3 cards for Spirit's advice with these last few minutes. So first and foremost, we've got journey. Spirit's like, remember the journey. It can sometimes be simple and easy, but nothing is simple and easy, and nothing is as it seems. It takes time for us to develop. We have a whole life journey to grow into our sacred contract, our covenant, our divine blueprint. That's what this life experience is about, is growing into our best. And I feel like you're really coming into a positive season where a lot of the hurt of the past is just shifted, transmuted, transformed. And that this next leg of the journey is one that is a bit more freeing for you, because you're being a bit more authentic and genuine. Next, for advice, we've got stand for justice. So not only does Spirit want you to remember that, the journey unfolds as we go along, but also to stand up for who you are. Stand for justice means that the only time, well, I wouldn't say the only time, but the hardest times that life takes a toll on us is when we're resistant to what we need to do, where we fight back instead of simply accepting the things we need to accept and take care of the things that we can take care of. That is how we balance what's going on around us and what's going on within us. And when I see the Stand for Justice card, this is a month where you really start to, 2024 is all about karmic patterns either coming back to us because it is owed, or we owe it. And I feel like May is a month where the scale tips in your favor. There's been so much hard work up until this point, and not that there's not going to be work moving forward, but when we work from a more genuine place, it's just a more peaceful experience. We're able to just have a more easy, or more ease on our journey, I should say. And finally, we've got navigate with the heart. So Spirit encourages that heart-centered work, to try to find it in your place, not to necessarily judge any experiences or any thoughts, processes, dogmas, things like that. To know that everything on the journey has been leading you to learn more about who you are. And as you step into that King of Wands and you make that bold step past the farther gate, past what's comfortable, and you stand in your authenticity and you navigate this space with your heart, your authentic heart, what feels right to you, not because it's right for everyone else, there is a freedom, there is a liberation that comes to you in May, and that's a beautiful thing. So I hope this helps for now, and that you take care. Thanks, Taurus.